You know, guys, I started to realize something. Ian Garry is actually special. And, like, I feel as if Ian Garry says some shit that I question. But, like, the more I hear this guy speak, and I know he gets a lot of hate sometimes, I feel like he went through a period of time where we loved him when he first came to the UFC. And then we started hating him more because of, like, his wife. I swear it was because of his wife. More than what, like, he was doing. But the more I hear him talk, he's a fighter's fighter. Like, he has the best mindset I think I've seen out of, like, every fighter in the UFC today. In a generation where, like, champions are ducking fights, fighters are ducking fights, no one wants to hard fight. You have people like Ian Garry say, yeah, I'm going to beat Shavkat, then I'm going to go up and I'm going to smoke Hamza Chimaev. And I'm like, I'm actually impressed because I feel like this generation of fighters lack it. And I really feel like Ian Garry, this is like his best weapon. This is his secret weapon, a mindset like this. Now, I've seen people with similar mindsets to Ian Garry. Like, the most notable thing is Conor McGregor when he first came to the scene. People who remember, though, featherweight Conor McGregor was, like, just very similar in the aspect, like, brother, anyone could get it. He was like, my grandma could get it. All these, I'm not ducking no fight. And people with this mindset, they just happen to perform well. And they just happen to upset and shock the world. I've seen it with people like Dricus Du Plessis, who is an interesting example because I look at Dricus, I don't even think he's that skilled. Like, I look at the way he fights, the way he moves, I'm like, this guy sucks. But every press conference, before Whitaker, before Strickland, for Izzy, I'm prepared to die. I hope you guys are ready to do the same. Like, he just has this weird confidence about him, and he ends up performing. Now, I see it with Ian Garry more than anyone in the UFC, and I just want to react to this, like, interview he had with Ariel Helwani and just point out, like, his mindset difference between him and, like, every other fighter. Just look at this man speak. And listen, I don't even know how I feel about Ian Garry, but, like, I know it's a cool to hate him, but I honestly think this mindset is, like, this guy, he's a superstar, dude. He's Cowabunga, dude. He's a real bad man. But let's watch some of this interview so I can react to it and show you guys what I'm talking about.
Ariel, I want to let you know what happened prior to that event.
Please, tell us everything.
Because this matters, right? When I found out there was no one above me available, I said to the UFC, I said, listen, you know what was...
By the way, if you get first context, he's talking about how the fight with him and Shavkat came about because they knew once Bilal pulled out, he knew there was no one left. So, like, he's telling the story about what led up to this, like how he got the fight with Shavkat.
Satisfy me. I know there's no one above me to fight. I know Colby's running. I know Usman's running. And you guys have told me you other guys aren't competing at the end of the year due to injuries and illnesses and stuff like that. So I know you guys don't have a backup for December 7th. Let me be the backup. Let me prepare for either Bilal or Shavkat. I'll be there. I'll weigh in. I'll be ready to fight in case anything happens. And that will make sure that you've got a security, a safety net.
See, already, this right here is crazy to me. Like, he's asking to be the backup of, like, of a Bilal Shavkat fight before Bilal even pulled out. So, even before this fight, he was ready to fight a Bilal Muhammad level fighter or a Shavkat Rakhmonov, which already shows me, bro, this guy's ballsy, bro. But obviously, like, I get the narrative, oh, he just wants to step in because of the title fight. But the more you hear him talk, the more you start to realize that he just loves to fight, dude. I think he just loves to fight.
Safety net. They turned around and said, no, we don't need that. We're not going to do that. I said, all right. So when Bilal pulled out because of injury, I said, I'll wait for the UFC to call me. I'm still here, Ariel. So by some way, shape, or form, God has gifted me what I wanted, except it's who I think would have won the match. And this, essentially, in my mind, is a world title fight.
See, here he says, like, he thought Shavkat would have won the match in general. So you think I disagree with this. But, like, I like the whole narrative that, like, he was ready to fight regardless. Like, and then this all kind of fell into place with him. And, bro, fighters talking about manifestation, bro. You could tell that he's Izzy maxing right here. He's like, I manifested this dude. Like, he's Izzy maxing. And listen, I don't mind this Izzy max. Like, he's allowed to do this. He's allowed to believe that he manifested this because maybe he did. Like, manifestation, bro, is real, dude. People forget, man.
Could I just ask, why do you think they said no to you being the backup? Makes total sense. And it seems to be a thing now, right? There's always a backup.
I'm a big enough name to be able to put bums in seats in Florida.
I agree with this.
Bring interest to a card that matters to them. So I think they wanted to kind of hold me for that. But realistically, whatever they had in mind doesn't matter. I'm here now and I'm ready to go, and this is what matters.
Yeah, that's a good point. I actually do think the fact that they said no to Ian Garry being the backup to Bilal versus Shavkat is because they do have one last pay-per-view and they wanted to Ian Garry to headline it. But yeah, it just ended up falling apart. So I actually agree with Ian Garry there.
So once they were, coming to the conclusion that Shavkat was going to remain on the card, did they call you ultimately and say, "Hey, you want in?"
He goes, "Joaquin's not out. He's like, but they do want you to step in December 7th. I said, let's do it. I'm in. This is what I wanted in the first place. Let's not beat around the bush. Let's go get it. Let's go shock the world. Go out there and beat a guy that's never been beaten. Prove to the world how good I am against the scariest man in the division.
Respect.
That was it. No negotiation, no back and forth, no nothing. You said I'm in.
It's not my job to negotiate. That's my manager's job.
All right.
It's my job to say, yes, let's do it. Put on a show, go out there, I'm in. It's his job to go and argue that.
This is what I'm talking about, though. Like, he's such a fighter's fighter, bro. Like, people don't have this mindset. And I know it seems weird that I'm praising him for just being a fighter and, like, being okay with fighting. But it's so rare to see nowadays that a fighter was, like, say yes to anything offered to him. Like, people would... There's a lot of people who were offered Shavkat, that Shavkat talked about. You know, Usman, Colby, even Carlos Prates, I heard. You know what is funny, though? The Usman, I know people call Usman a duck. I don't think Usman's a duck, bro. He fought Hamzat on short notice. It was a scarier, harder fight. You know what I'm saying? I just think Usman just didn't want to get put in a short notice situation again. But Colby Covington's a duck. And like, he's actually going to talk about Colby and get pissed off. It's going to be kind of funny because Colby's ducking is kind of crazy. And I like Colby, but come on, dog.
It's my job to say yes.
Ultimately, though, you're happy with how it all turned out.
Obviously.
I'm over the moon.
Love it.
I could sit here and say, oh, I wish I wanted more time to prepare. But the truth is, I work best with speed. When you give me the smallest amount of time to work for an opponent, I'm going to go out there and do what's natural and do what's free to me. Just go out there and have fun and be me. Shavkat's phenomenal. I respect him. I respect everything that he brings to this matchup. But I know I'm well capable of going out there and putting him in the dirt. I know I'm well capable of going out there, finishing him, beating him up, and doing it beautifully. So for me, I get to go out here on December 7th at UFC 310, make a statement to myself and the rest of the MMA community that I am one of the greatest fighters this sport has ever seen, and I'm going to prove it by doing it against a guy that many think is the boogeyman.
You know what, too? It's like, I don't even think he's going to beat Shavkat. I don't think he's going to beat Shavkat. But it's just too much times I've seen these fighters with these crazy confidence, and I'm like, why are they confident? Like, you're not going to beat him, dude. You're going to get smothered. Then the more he talks, I'm like, bro, he has a chance, you know, bro. Like, he has a chance, you know. And and he does have the skills to beat him. It's just that I don't know how he's going to deal with Shavkat's pressure, but, like, I swear, confidence like this, you can't manufacture it. It's, like, within. And I believe that he has the confidence for a reason. You can't just be a confident fighter with no justification. There has to be a reason he's talking like this. So he might know something I don't know.
Question I'm dying to ask you. When all these dominoes fell and you were then booked to fight Shavkat and Joaquin was left without a dance partner.
Oh, don't. I know where you're going. I'm seething.
And you found out that it was in fact going to be Colby stepping in on the same day. What was your reaction?
It's the craziest duck of all time.
Ariel, how do you think I feel? Because I've been screaming and shouting about fighting that man from the rafters. This man's made videos about me, my wife, my kids, talked to him about all this shit. And here's this man avoiding me like the plague. And then the second I book in against the scariest man in the division, he's like, oh, I'll fight in Florida.
I ain't gonna lie, this is a crazy duck, chat. I can't lie. Listen, and like people know, like I actually fuck with Colby, but this is probably one of the craziest ducks I've ever seen in my life. Like, bro, Ian Garry was calling him out the whole time. All Ian Garry was ever doing with Colby was calling him out. And then even Colby like posts like a like his call out. Yeah, and if you want to fight me, record a video of you saying this, that, and the third, some stupid shit, right? Now, Colby just denied that fight. He didn't want to fight Ian Garry for whatever reason. I don't know. But Ian Garry and Buckley were gonna headline the last fight of the card. You know what I'm saying? Like at first when Colby didn't want to fight, I was like, maybe Colby wants to fight the start of next year. I don't know. And then once that fight fell apart, and then Ian Garry goes and finally gets booked, suddenly Colby does want to fight at the end of the year, and he wants to take the Buckley spot. So you wanted to fight at December 4th or the end of the year. Ian Garry was scheduled to fight at the end of the year or wanted to fight at the end of the year, but you didn't want to fight Ian Garry, but you fight Buckley. That's a bad duck, and I don't know the full reason why Colby ducked, but if I'm Ian Garry, I'm pissed too. This guy's talking about your wife, your kids, your kid. Like, come on, bro, I can't be asked. Like, this is and this is coming from someone who actually fucks with Colby. That was the craziest duck I've probably ever seen in my life. It was bad. So I actually like when I hear Ian Garry talk, I feel his frustration, his pain, because Colby's a crazy duck, dude. That was crazy.
It just shows that he's a coward. That he wants nothing to do with me. And the truth is, I know I've already beaten him. I know I've already mentally beaten him. He's weak. He's an absolute coward. And I believe he's going to go out there and get steamrolled by Joaquin Buckley.
You think Buckley beats him? Easy.
I think Buckley starches him. But you know what I'd love, Ariel? You know what I would love? I would love this. All right? Here's my ideal scenario. I go out there December 7th, and I take out Shavkat early. I come out of there unscathed, uninjured. I get on the mic, and I sit there, and I say, hey, I could wait until next year when Bilal Muhammad's back. Or Dana Hunter, UFC, I could walk my ass all the way down to Florida.
Crazy.
And I could beat the bollocks out of Colby Covington for 25 minutes. And I can prove how good I am next week. Because that man talks a lot, but he's not willing to back it.
This is the shit I'm talking about, mindset. Who the fuck says shit like this? Like, you hear what he said he's going to go in there and make quick work of Shavkat Rakhmonov, God. Shavkat Rakhmonov. Then after making quick work of Shavkat, he's going to turn around the next week afterwards. Then beat Colby Covington for 25 minutes straight. A cardio king. Bro, this is the shit, like, hearing stuff like this, and I know it might all be delusional BS, but I feel like you have to be delusional to be great. And I think Ian Garry has the delusional part down. And he's skilled. It's not like Ian Garry's not skilled. It's not like he's a bum. You know what I'm saying? I do think Ian Garry's skilled. So the fact he's talking like this, and listen, do I actually believe this is possible? No, I don't think Dana White's going to allow it to happen. Do I think Ian Garry means this? Like, based on his body language, the way he's talking, the way, like, he was like, let me tell you this, Ariel. I think he's dead ass. And this is a secret weapon, man. Like, being this confident is a blessing, because if you're delusional enough to think it's so easy to become a reality, that's when it's going to become a reality. And I think Ian Garry has it down pat. And this is like this mindset. I don't see much fighters with it, man. I wish you could give some of this mindset to like Jones and Pereira and Merab, chase hard fights, chase challenges, But Ian Machado Garry has it out of everyone in the UFC. How crazy is that, bro? How crazy is that?
That would be my deal. I would love to beat Shavkat and the following week fight as the main event in Tampa and bury Colby Covington and leave him dead and done in that octagon, never to be seen again.
Crazy.
At this point, though, and I completely understand where you're coming from, if all goes according to plan for you on Saturday and that books your ticket to Bilal, you can make the case then that he is so far behind you that ship will have sailed and you may never get your hands on him. Is that a reality that you're coming to terms with?
Absolutely. I mean, I was coming to terms with it the first time he was avoiding me by saying he had a broken foot 6.5 months later when it takes 2 months to heal.
He got him. No, I ain't gonna lie. That was a bar. He was still talking about the broken foot in the Leon fight, and he said it only takes 2 months to heal. And he's talking about it 6 months later. That's a bar, That was a violent. I'll give him that. Okay, bro can talk shit too. You get me?
Broken foot 6.5 months later when it takes 2 months to heal. So I understand the type of person Colby Covington is. He is someone who is trying to stay relevant by calling out the people that are generating traction. Myself, Shavkat, Bilal Muhammad. Even Charles at one point, he was saying he wanted to fight Charles.
That's true.
So, I mean, these are all to keep relevancy to his name because his stock is plummeting so low because no one cares about him anymore. So for me...
bro, he's kind of cooking here, I'm not gonna lie. When you listen to what he's actually saying, he's cooking. Like, he's saying everything he's saying is somewhat valid. This is coming from someone who likes Colby too. This is crazy. He's kind of he's valid in him.
I want that fight just because of how much trash he talks. But I'm well aware that when I beat Shavkat Saturday night, it's me being booked against Bilal Muhammad for the world title later on in 2025.
Why do you think Usman? You said he wanted nothing to do with you. Why do you think that's the case? Former champion coming off a strong performance.
Because Usman has a big chest and little balls.
That's what was said to you?
All right. I know y'all gonna be like, he's gonna just defend Usman because he's Nigerian. I'm just gonna say something, based on like what I believe. Usman going back and fighting Ian Garry, like in the rankings, I don't think it's like the smartest thing for him to do. I feel like that JDM fight, if I'm Usman, I want to take a fight with a high-ranked opponent that's probably easier stylistically, which is JDM than Ian Garry. Do I think Usman beats Ian Garry comfortably? Yes. With his pressure, his shovel, like he would just outwork him in 25 minutes. But I do think there's better options for Usman. Like his team might not even entertain that. His team will entertain a Shavkat fight. You know, that's a harder fight stylistically than Ian Garry, in my opinion. You know, they'll entertain a JDM fight. You know what I'm saying? Even though it's easier, it's just like what fight's really gonna get him back in that title picture against Bilal quick enough. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Ian Garry wouldn't be that guy. This is my opinion, though. Maybe I'm wrong.
Good. No, he's just not. That's what I'm saying. He's got a big chest. He looks good. He plays the part, but where it matters between the legs, he's a little man. That's my outlook on it. He's worried again. Him and Colby, they're older. They've been through the division. They've fought these guys. Now they're getting to the end of their careers. They want to choose the better stylistic matchups. I guarantee this. They are going to try. Usman is going to try push for a fight with Jack Della Maddalena because he's seen how easily Gilbert Burns.
You know, Gary's smart, bro. Gary, yo, he's smart as shit. Like, I ain't gonna lie, he knows. Gary's actually a very, he's a real. He's starting to grow on me because like everything he says is kind of like very realistic. He's a smart speaker, dude. You know, he's smart. I'll give. Hey man, he knows what he's saying.
Choose the better stylistic matchups. I guarantee this. They are going to try. Usman is going to try push for a fight with Jack Della Maddalena because he's seen how easily Gilbert Burns was able to take him down. So for me, if I was in Usman's shoes, why would I want to fight the guy who's long, rangy, difficult to deal with, when I could fight a guy who I've watched two people back to back be able to take him down quite easily?
He's smart. He's not saying anything incorrect here, to be fair.
I guarantee Usman's going to try push for the JDM fight because he's weak-minded.
I have to say, Ian,
I disagree with Usman's weak-minded narrative, though, because I think if Usman was weak-minded, he would never have took a 10 days notice fight against Hamza Chimaev. But other than that, everything he was saying was factually correct in that point. I respect that a lot.
At this juncture, we have talked quite a bit throughout your career. I don't know if I've ever seen you this fired up, and especially before a fight.
It gets me. Big fights, big opportunities excite me in life. This is what I live for. I'm a young kid who dreamt of being here. I'm a young kid who dreamt of being here, who wanted to see my face on billboards, who wanted to put on shows against the scariest people in the world. I've said to you before how my ideal scenario is I fight, I beat Shavkat, I win the world title, I go up to middleweight, and I fight Khamzat, I win that belt too. I'm not afraid of any man. I know how talented I am. I know the gift.
And when he says shit like, I'm not afraid of any man, I've heard people in the UFC say that, but he's proven it. You could say something, but he's proven it. He's never ducked a fight. I've always seen him calling out the hardest names. He's proven it. I'm a fan. I'm just gonna say it in the middle of the video. I'm a fan of Ian Garry, cause fighters like I need more fighters like this. I might start glazing Ian Garry. It just is what it is. I'm a fan of him, bro. I'm a fan of him.
God gave me. I want to go out there and prove it against what people believe to be the best people in the world. That's what I'm here for. That's
As you should.
Competitor in me. This fight on Saturday night, Ariel, I promise you the world is going to see an Ian Machado Garry they've never seen before. I'm going to prove to the world and myself that I'm better than I ever believe I could be. This fight is going to show the world how talented I am, and I cannot wait till everyone just is silent.
So obviously, we know you guys trained a little bit together in the past, and then once this fight came up and was booked, a little bit of footage, a taste, if you will, of you guys working together, a little spar, if you will, out on the mats in Florida. Here's the footage, courtesy of your Twitter. Is this why you're so confident? Because you've had the opportunity to train with him, you felt him, you understand the puzzle that is Shavkat. Is that why you are so confident heading into Saturday?
It's nothing to do with Shavkat, and it's everything to do with me.
Oh my, what a reply, bro. Yeah, yo, people give me like I'm glazing on the comments. I can already tell, but what a reply, man. It's nothing to do with Shavkat, everything to do with me. Leo Batman. That's a Leo Batman, you get me, bro.
I know that I can beat every single person that weighs in at 170 on this planet. So it's my job to go out there and prove it. And some people might call me nuts. Some people might call me crazy. He's 18-0. He's finished everyone he's fought. I'm 15-0. All I've ever done in my life is win. And people might call me crazy, but crazy is just seeing things earlier than everyone else.
Yo, this guy's He might be the truth. Should I switch my pick mid video to Ian Garry? Like, bro, he's crazy, bro, in the best way possible. He's crazy in the best way possible.
I love that. I did see Shavkat say that some of the training sessions that you guys had back in the day. You saw this tweet. This is a tweet that has been passed around. Looks like Ian forgot what happened during those training sessions. I don't mind reminding him.
Interesting.
Training is training. What are we doing in training? We're trying to evolve and grow. We are trying to be better. We are trying to do things that put us in scenarios where we need to learn.
True.
So if Shavkat believes that the training that we had in the past is going to be the same on Saturday night when he steps into the octagon with me, then Shavkat, I'm speaking to you directly. You're going to be severely mistaken. And if I was you, I would change that mentality very quickly.
Gosh, I can't wait for this. The champ, by the way, Bilal, picking you to win. Have you seen this tweet?
I have seen the tweet, and he knows what he's talking about.
We haven't talked since he beat Leon, and I know we have to go in a moment. Were you surprised at what he did to Leon?
Yes. Yeah, I was. I thought he had a very, very, very intelligent performance. He never let Leon gather any momentum.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the best part about it was how he very clearly broke Leon. You see him between the stool and the 4th and 5th round. How he told his little puppet master, David Lavelle, to shut the fuck up. He mentally upset him and broke him. And Bilal spoke prior to about saying Leon is weak, and I think Bilal exploited that. That if you put Leon in the cooker, he mentally drains himself. But I promise you now, if he fights me, he's got to do a hell of a lot more than that, because I am not going to stop. He is not going to break my spirit. He's not going to break my mentality.
I disagree, and I think Ian's actually gonna get broken by Shavkat. I think Shavkat's gonna break him, and because Shavkat's forward pressure is too overwhelming. Like I said, Ian Garry is pretty technical. Like against Jeff Neal, when you give Ian Garry space, he'll pick you apart. But if you make it ugly, that's when you could catch Ian Garry at the slacking a little bit. So I think that's why I think Shavkat's gonna win overall. But like Ian Garry's confidence is starting to sway me a little bit.
I will absolutely dominate him with control, distance, speed, aggression, violence. Fuck, maybe I might out-wrestle him.
Shout out to your official prediction. What are we going with?
I think he's going to come out strong. I think he's going to be aggressive.
You will?
I think the first 2 rounds, you're going to see a lot of him trying to figure out my puzzle. And then I believe 3rd and 4th, I'm going to start to dominate. And I think by the 4th round, I think Shavkat's going to be gassed, and he's not going to...
After hearing his game plan, he's losing comfortably. He's relying on Shavkat gassing, not happening.
Have anything to do, and I'll find the way to finish him.
Man.
But yeah, man, overall, I look at someone like Ian Garry. I see the skill, but it's really the confidence and the delusion. I'm going to call it delusion because delusion is not necessarily a negative thing. People have that negative connotation behind the word delusion. I just think delusion is delusional until it happens. And then when it happens, you're crazy. You're a madman. How'd you know, bro? You know too much. You're a mystic, whatever. Mr. Garry. I respect him, and I think more fighters need to be like Ian Garry. I can't believe I'm going to say that. And I feel like he got a bad rep initially just because, like, family, like, things that had nothing to do with him as a fighter. But him as a fighter, he gained a fan. This interview made me an Ian Garry fan. At first, I was like, yeah, Ian Garry's cool. I don't mind him. Now I'm an Ian Garry fan. Like, I actually respect how he's fighting. I respect who he is. And even though I think Shavkat's probably going to win, I still think Ian Garry has the right mindset and can shock a lot of people potentially. So Ian Garry, bro, more fighters gotta be like him. He's your fighter's fighter. He's just the embodiment of like a fighter, in my opinion. But let me know what y'all think about this. I think Ian Garry is showing a new side of him that I'm starting to love. That's it for me though, and God bless. 2, 3, 4.